tell, we've been here a while and it's raining and it's ridiculously cold, but we're gonna get through it and we're gonna show you all around the park. So let's get started. So this is the front gate where you would come in. Over on this side, they have guest services, lockers, and then they have the rentals for like wheelchairs and strollers and stuff like that. And then on the opposite side, they have security. And then they also have where you would pick up stuff, like if you have something to redeem, like some sort of pass, you go here for that. And then they have their new sign in the middle, which looks great. And it lights up at night, so I can't wait to see what that looks like. Next to where you rent stuff, they have some bathrooms. And then over here, they have Ocean Motion, which is like the big boat that goes back and forth. And then in the middle, they have the carousel, and it's actually running. That's one of the very few things that's running today. The carousel, they have Point Plaza, which is their big store. Here's a general look around this store. It's the biggest store that they have here. That's all it is, just a store. And then on the other side, they have French Quarter Confections, which is like their dessert place. They have funnel cakes, elephant ears, beignets, ice cream, all sorts of stuff. Right next to French Quarter Confections, they have the Jack Eldridge Theater, which they have a couple shows going on, but they have the Class of '99 show that goes on there. And that's actually a really good show, and I can't wait to see it later this year. It opens in June, I believe. Right across the way from the theater, they have a Starbucks coffee location. And then in the middle here is where you get on the buckets on one side, and underneath they have the CP shop. By the Starbucks coffee, they have an ice cream parlor. This used to be Tops ice cream, but now it's just a plain ice cream. But they probably still use the same ice cream. Who knows though. And then down here they have their new games, and I showed that in the Cedar Point opening day video, so you can check that out and you can see those up close, but that's over here. The ones that are like out here like this are not new, but the ones back in there like those are new. Just past the theater is the photos booth where you can get your photos from your photo pass. And then down here is Hugo's Italian Kitchen. They have pizza and pasta and stuff like that. Really good food there. Over here they have lockers for Raptor, and right here is Raptor, this big green one. Just past the games, they have these little kiosks over here that you can convert cash to card. If they are cashless cards, so you just want to keep that in mind. And then right here is going to be one of the arcades, which is the Funway Arcade and Mirror Maze. And that's this little arcade right here. And across from the Funway Arcade is Kitty Kingdom, so it's all these little rides under those umbrellas for little kids. Like they have cars that spin, helicopters that spin, they have a carousel back there for them, all sorts of small stuff for them. We're coming up on the boardwalk area, but right here is Max Air. It's not running right now, but it's a big thing that spins and goes up and down. Here we are coming up on the boardwalk, and that's where you'll find Gatekeeper, the Grand Pavilion, the Ferris wheel, all sorts of stuff like that. But I'll show you exactly where each of those is. But here we are. Past the sign is going to be Gatekeeper, so you enter down there by the big blue sign. And then their gift shop is right around the corner right here is where you get off the ride. So next to the gift shop and the photos for Gatekeeper, they have a yogurt place and a Coke Freestyle place, and then they also have a bathroom right through there. So here's the Gatekeeper sign, and across the way they have the lockers for Gatekeeper right there. And then right next to Gatekeeper, we're coming up on the Grand Pavilion. And that is right across the way from the giant wheel, which is right here. So we are actually inside the Grand Pavilion right now, but I'm going to show you where some of these things are because it's freezing outside. So this is Trioca over here. This is one that spins on arms that go up and down and spin. That's to the left of the giant wheel. And then down here, right in front of the giant wheel, they have Dodgems, which is their bumper cars. And then this one right here is Calypso. I'll show you the front view of this one when we go back outside so you can actually see what the ride is, but it's those walls right there. And down to the right is Wild Mouse, and I'll show you that up close as well when we go outside. Alright, so now we're going around the boardwalk. So this is Trioca, which is up close. I can never pronounce it. I probably still pronounced it wrong. There's Dodgems. And then here is Calypso, kind of from the side. It spins like crazy. It spins and then it spins within the spin. So here's Calypso from the front. That's the ride I was talking about from the Grand Pavilion. And then over here's Wild Mouse, and then Matterhorn is right here. And across the way they have a basketball game, and then an entrance to Planet Snoopy right down there. Here's Wild Mouse up close, and all the little mice there. It's not running today, neither is just about everything else, but there's that. And again, there's Matterhorn right there. And then down here is another spinning ride, Atomic Scrambler. This one is just like a normal fair looking ride. And that one seems to actually be running today. They actually have some people on it, so that's cool. And then at the very, very end of the boardwalk is Windseeker, which is the big tall one that goes all the way to the top and spins around, and then it comes back down. And it goes slow, so you don't have to worry about spinning like really, really fast or anything. There is multiple entrances to Planet Snoopy, but these are like the little kid rides. So they have the Flying Ace Balloon Race, which is these. They have the little rockets over here called Snoopy's Space Race. They have little trucks over here. Oh, and it's noted here that it's going to open on May 24th this season, so it's not quite open yet. But these are the Peanuts Road Rally cars. And then over here they have Snoopy's Deep Sea Divers. Try to say that fast. This is like those school buses at the fair that you see that go up like this motion. And right next to that they have Snoopy's Express Railroad. It's a tiny little train for little kids. And then down here they have a small version of a drop tower. It just goes up the tree and drops. Here you can find the first aid and the family care center, which is this little building right here. And then they have Woodstock Whirlybirds, which is like the little nest that's been around. And then over here by the little Snoopy house is where they do some meet and greets with the Peanuts characters, but nothing's going on right now. Coming out this way, there's the airbrush station, which you can get shirts and hats airbrushed next to the button thing that we went to earlier. And then across the way they have caricatures. So like I said, right there's the caricatures. Next door they have face paint and henna. And then down here is the Cadillac cars, which is like the little cars that you ride around in. But they don't have the roofs on there today, I don't know why. Next to the Cadillac cars, they have Derby Dogs, which is not open, of course. And then they have Cedar Downs, which is the horses that go really fast compared to a normal carousel, so just keep that in mind. And next to Cedar Downs, they have the Corral, which is a chicken place. So that's right there in front of Raptor. And across the way from those two is the Coliseum Arcade, which is the big, huge arcade. So this was basically everything that's from the one side of the Sky Ride all the way down to the other, which is buckets. So we're gonna walk past the buckets and I'll show you the things that are on the way there. On the right side, past the Coliseum Arcade, is Peanuts at the Point, which is a store. It's the newest store that they have. And then next to Peanuts at the Point, they have the Sweet Spot, which is their candy store. And then next to that is the Pagoda gift shop, which is where we're gonna stop again to get warm. Here's a little view inside this store. It's a little smaller than the other one, but it is still a pretty big store. The direction we came out of, and we saw the airbrush station, and then the button shop is right there. And there's also an Annie Ann's right next door, so that's nice. And then across the way is Valraven, so we're gonna go back this way and show you a couple things back there because there is some stuff back here. That one's pretty tall too. That's the one that hangs you over the side. Here comes Valraven over the side. I can actually show you guys how it hangs. I don't know if there's people on it. I hear screams, but I don't see anybody. Here's the cars again. That's right underneath Valraven. And then the entrance is right around the corner for Valraven over here. So right there is the entrance for Valraven. And then down here is a gift shop and where you'll come out. And then right next door to that is the lockers for Valraven. And then just a smidge to the left is Blue Streak, which is the wooden roller coaster that really just goes up and down a couple hills a few times, and that's pretty much it. And then over here they closed Chicky and Pete's, but there's nothing there, so it's just vacant right now. And just for reference, that path that we took around just goes under this bridge that goes under Raptor and then goes back out right in front of Kitty Kingdom. Also in the middle between Raptor and Kitty Kingdom, they have Bar 1870, which is a bar, obviously. And now we've made a full loop around the front of the park, and we're at the other station for the Sky Buckets right there, and coming up on Coaster's Diner on the left. So right behind that is Corkscrew, which is this one right here. And then we have Coaster's Diner, which is where we had lunch today, right here. And right across from Coaster's, they have the Hops and Drops bar, which is a little tiny bar right there. And then they have some outdoor seating right here, which is not what you want today. So here's the new coaster, Siren's Curse. It's not open yet, but it's the tilt coaster that's going to be right here across from Iron Dragon. They have about 80% of the track in, so it's not open yet, but it's gonna open in the early summer. And across the way from Siren's Curse is Iron Dragon. They've redone the queue, so it starts here now instead of down here. So just keep that in mind. That's Iron Dragon right there. And then you get on up there. Across from where is now the exit of Iron Dragon is bathrooms back there. And then they have one of the stops for the train right over here. And right outside Iron Dragon, they have a Dippin' Dot stand, and they have 21 and older, which is a bar. And that's down this way. We actually have a video on that one as well, so you can see that one in the link in the description down below. I'll put that there. More outdoor seating. Boo today, but good in the summer. And then just past that is Rougarou, which is down here. That's that big orange roller coaster right here. Now we're gonna go over the railroad tracks, and over to the left is the VIP Millennium Lounge. We have a video on that as well, so I'll put that in the link in the description down below, but that has changed dramatically since we went there. And then next to it is Millennium Force, obviously. And it looks like they're testing that one. And then across the way, they just have a couple games. And this should be noted, they have a bunch of these around this year. They are virtual, and they show like the map, wait time, stuff like that. Across from the games on the other side, they have the lockers from Millennium Force, and then they also have the ride photos down here. And just past those ride photos is Panda Express on the left side, and they have outdoor seating as well. They have a small little bit of indoor seating as well. And across the way is the Red Garter Saloon and the photo shop. You can take like old-timey photos in there. And then down here is like a restaurant slash bar slash entertainment place down here. So here's the inside of Red Garter Saloon. It's got some seating, and they also have shows normally, but that won't start until later this season. But it's a cute little place. Outside Red Garter Saloon, they have a little jewelry store. It's very expensive in there, so unless you want to spend a lot of money, wouldn't recommend it. And then there's bathrooms. Just past those restrooms, there's Annie Ann's, CJ's Provisions, which is like coffee. And then they have Toots Sweets. And across the way, they have another Coca-Cola Freestyle stand. Now we're headed back this way through the tunnel to the Frontier area. Off to the right is trail rides, which you can ride real ponies slash horses. I'm allergic, so you'll never see me doing this, but it's a cute little thing that you can do and something different that you can do at a theme park. And across the way from that, they have Trail Tavern, which is mostly drinks, if not all drinks, like alcoholic drinks. And they have more outdoor seating. Just past the trail rides, they have a wood carving stand that's usually open right here. This is Fort Sandusky. They usually have some shows here. And then across the way, they have some little stores, like a leather goods store, Wooden Roses, Mining Company, which is like gems and stuff. And then these are like ones that you can like have your kids play in, but there's nothing going on right now. And then this one they use as a stage. A little bit down the way, they have a candy shop, which is not open today. And then on the other side is more of a candle shop. Past the candy shop, they have the barnyard where they have a bunch of animals. The camels got loose one time, so that was fun. And then they also have some goats and sheep right here. And then they have other animals back there, but that's really all that's in there right now. Ooh, that one was jumping. But that's all that's really back there. It's just animals, and you can pet them and you can feed them. And across the way from the petting zoo area, they have a seating area back there where you can just kind of relax. And then back here, they used to have the Frontier Trail, but they don't do that anymore. Some more animals. They have a pig and some more goats and sheep. And then across the way, they have restrooms again on this side. Some donkeys back there, and then they also have some cows, but they're laying down, so I don't know if you'll be able to see them. There they are. And then the donkeys ran off. Oh, there they are. Just past where we saw those donkeys, they have some more lockers. These are for the water rides that they usually have open. This doesn't open until the end of May. So the 24th is the weekend that's going to open. This is Thunder Canyon, which is like the big raft ride that you either get soaked or you don't get soaked, but you don't know because it just spins as it's going down the path. And over on the right side, they have another restaurant, quick service. And then on this side, they have glass blowing, which is like a theater show that they do. I wish they were doing that today because it would be nice and warm to watch that show. And then they have a shop. And over this bridge is where they used to have Snake River Falls right there. So it's a big link area now. They still have the loading platform, but that's it. And then on the other side is Maverick. And just in front of Maverick, they have the swings. And then this is where they have Fairground Freak Show, which is one of the haunted houses that they do at Halloween weekends, but not open right now, obviously. And then down here is Frontier Inn, which is what replaced the Chick-fil-A, unfortunately, but it's still good. And obviously this building is the Farmhouse Grill. This is their biggest restaurant, and this is where they're holding the bands and residents here, but there's nobody on the stage right now. Here's their show times. Just past all of these chairs and stuff, they have Wagon Wheel Pizza and Engine Company Spirits. So you can get some drinks and some pizza over there. They have a lot of outdoor seating at Farmhouse Grill. So if you're looking for some seating during the summer to eat, this is the place to go back here. Around this side is the entrance. So this is where you go in. So here's the inside, and basically when you get in, you go either to the left or the right. You get the same food at either one, so just pick whatever line's shorter. Right now they're only running one, but it looks like they're about to open the second one. Just outside Farmhouse Grill, they have the Town Hall Museum, which they don't really do anything with right now. They have Skyhawk back here, which is the big swing one. It just swings really high. And then they have more restrooms back here. And then over here is Cedar Creek Mine Ride, which that one doesn't seem to be running today at all, not even testing. There's the entrance for Cedar Creek Mine Ride, and they have more caricature buildings right here. And then back this way they have a little path that you can use to get back towards Steel Vengeance and Maverick. Right outside that tunnel they have a stage set up with some chairs and benches. And then this used to be another restaurant, but it's nothing anymore. And then right down the way is the entrance to Maverick. And that one is actually running. There's people on it right now. 90-minute wait though. The first ride I've actually seen running today, and it's like almost 4 p.m. And it has a 90-minute wait, and there's actually people on it. Just beyond that is Sagebrush Sue's, which has like hot dogs on a stick, which is basically a corn dog, and cheese on a stick. And then the other train station is also back here. And the big one back here is Steel Vengeance, which that one's running too. I see people. Good for them. Back this way, you just go over the train tracks and you get to the entrance of Steel Vengeance. That's literally all that's back there is just Steel Vengeance. And over here is Last Chance Saloon, which is another restaurant, and Miss Keats Smokehouse, which is another restaurant. And just past that, they have the Coca-Cola Fountains and Float Station, which you can do ice cream floats, coffee shakes, whatever. And then they have a first aid station and a bathroom right back here. And then that's right next to Build-A-Bear Workshop, which is right here. And then right here they have another Coca-Cola Freestyle stand. And then that's next to the big store back here. This is the general store, which is, again, the big store back here in the Frontier area. Back here they have a bunch of seating, and then they have another guessing game. And they used to have a basketball game back here, but I guess it's just a guessing game now. And then they have the Stockade Refreshments, which has like popcorn, custard, cotton candy, Dole soft serve, stuff like that. About to cross the railroads again, and Slingshot is straight ahead. That's that big thing where you get shot up. That's right there. Right next to Slingshot, they have bathrooms back here as well. And that's right next to Gemini, which is this big wooden roller coaster right here. And then here's another example of one of those signs that I was telling you about that have like the maps and the wait times and stuff on it. They will be throughout the park, and they are brand new this season. Past that sign is the Icy Mix It Up station, which is basically just a bunch of different ices that you can get. And then on this side they have Gemini, and that's the entrance for it, and it goes all the way down there. It's a huge wooden roller coaster. Seating area for the new Happy Friar, which looks absolutely amazing. I'm gonna head inside real quick and just give you a quick little look, but this is the outside of the building and it looks really, really nice. So here's a look at the inside. It's all remodeled and it looks really nice. It's just fries with a bunch of toppings is basically all that they sell here. And there's the checkout counters. And you just go down the line and get what you want. Right next to the Happy Friar is Camp Snoopy. I'll do a quick walkthrough. We are making it through this tour. It is cold, it is rainy, it is windy, but we're here and we're doing it. Here's the Peanuts 500. That's like a little car ride that just like flings you around. It's a cute little ride. There's their photos and their gift shop over here on this side. Down here is the Woodstock Express, which is not running today, but this is a great starter coaster for little ones. Cute little train that goes around the track. Snoopy's Balloon Burst, which is a new game for little kids. They win every time. Wilderness Run is over here. This is another good little roller coaster for kids. I mean, this one's even smaller than Woodstock Express, so this one is definitely a better starter coaster, in my opinion. Very, very short. And then this is where they usually do meet and greets, but they're not doing them right now. But they'll meet with Snoopy, Charlie Brown, Lucy, all the Peanuts gang back here. in this area. And just past that, they have the Red Baron, which is like little planes that go in a circle for little kids. And then they have a couple other spinny rides down this way, swings, and then a balloon one, and then this one that spins in a circle, basically all spinning rides. They also have this one that's even smaller than the other one. It's basically one that bounces up and down. It doesn't even really drop. And then they have the bus over here. This is another one that goes in this motion. Charlie Brown's Wind Up, which is another swing one, but it's like double swings so that you can sit with your kid in those. And then they also have these ones over here, which is like little balloons that you sit in. You can spin them if you want, or you can just go around in circles. And then across from that is restrooms. And that's all of Camp Snoopy. Back towards Gemini, they have the monster one right here. They have the eagle ones down here. And then they have Pipe Scream, which is the one that goes up and down a hill and also spins in a circle. And then we're here at Yogurt Plus and another Coca-Cola Freestyle. And then we have the Cedar Point Corner Store right here, which is a small little gift shop right here. And just across the way from that and across the way from Camp Snoopy is Backbeat Q, and they also have a stage back here that some of the bands perform at as well. And they have some outdoor seating there too. Right here is Top Thrill 2. I saw them testing today, but nobody has been riding today yet. Just past Backbeat Q, they have a guessing game again, and then they have a pretzel stand. Not the Annie Ann's pretzels though. Just regular pretzels, and the Coca-Cola refresh station next to lockers for Magnum XL 200 and caricatures on the right hand side. Just past the entrance to Magnum XL 200 is some restrooms, and that's across from Top Thrill 2, which goes all the way one way and down the other way. They also have some games that are revolving around Top Thrill 2 right here, and you can get prizes that have like bears with sweatshirts with Top Thrill 2 on them, pillows, squishmallows that are for that, and that big elephant over there. The pit stop bar where you can get some drinks and some snacks. And then here's where you get the ride photos for Top Thrill 2. And they also have the grandstands where you can watch Top Thrill 2 and you can watch people fly. And then over here we have the grandstands for Top Thrill 2, and across the way we have Corkscrew's entrance, which I showed you on the other side of the park earlier today. Right across from Top Thrill 2 is this other spinny ride, and Power Tower, which goes way up. One goes up fast, one goes down fast. I can't remember which one's which. And they've also changed the colors. It used to be green and red. Iron Dragon, and across the way they have a giant claw machine, and you are the claw for $20. And there's Corkscrew going through. Right past Corkscrew in the little seating area there, they have another icy station and another Coca-Cola station right under the buckets. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was our tour of Cedar Point in 2025. There's some things that have changed, some things that have gotten better, and I hope you guys enjoyed following along with us and that you'll come out to Cedar Point this season. Thanks for watching today's video. See you guys next time. Bye.